NBA 2K23 is coming close to an end, so I'm going to give going 82-0 one last try. I'm going to build my team around Shaq and Kobe and pretty much trade everyone else for year number 1, get a bunch of draft picks, and then in the 2003 offseason, I'm going to try to get a bunch of the top draft picks like Melo, Bron, Wade. You know, I'm going to try to go after those guys and put them alongside Shaq and Kobe. I also signed some guys out of free agency just to trade them. Really, the main objective for this year was just acquiring as many picks as possible, and I think I did a pretty good job of that. So we're going to go ahead and simulate to the end of the season. I don't really care how our team does, but of course, given that we have Shaq and Kobe, we're probably going to be at least okay. Even with a garbage supporting cast, we still made it in to the NBA playoffs, and we ended up making it to the conference finals where we lost, but that doesn't really matter too much. It's time for the draft lottery. Unfortunately, we didn't land any crazy picks, no top 3 picks, but remember, I went out, I acquired a bunch of draft capital. I'm also going to trade anybody else still on the roster to get even more picks so that we're in the best position possible to try and trade up in this draft and get guys like Bron playing alongside Kobe and Shaq. So here I'm going for pick number 3 in this draft. I've got plenty of draft capital to work with, so hopefully we'll be able to make this happen. And I was able to do it with 5 first. Then I'm going to use pick number 3 along with some other draft picks to go ahead and try to move up to number 1. I was able to make that move happen. Then I'm going to go back and get that number 3 pick back because I want to have at least 2 picks within the top 3, and I used a ton of picks, but I was able to make it happen. So we've got pick 1 and pick 3. We're gonna go with LeBron at number 1. Wade goes to the Cavs, which means Melo is still available, and I'm gonna go ahead and draft him. So Bron and Melo alongside Kobe and Shaq. I think we're off to a pretty good start to this video. But even though I really like Shaq, I've seen him regress pretty bad in some of these, and I would like to try and put myself in a position where I can get guys in free agency. So I traded for Antoine Walker and Vin Baker. Then I traded Antoine Walker for Andrei Karolinko in a first. Karolinko's on a really good contract. I traded Vin Baker for another first. That cleared up enough cap space for me to go after players like Tim Duncan, like Jason Kidd, or maybe a guy like Jermaine O'Neal, right? I offered Tim Duncan and Jason Kidd contracts, and unfortunately, neither one of them wanted to come here. So I moved on to maybe an even better option, Gilbert Arenas. Arenas is cracked in the simulation. He's going to develop so well, and I ended up signing him, so I would consider that a huge dub. Arenas is going to be probably around a 95 overall, so trading Shaq wasn't a huge L considering that we got Karolinko, we got a good pick. I think it was a good move. I was also able to sign Elton Brand. So overall, I know that you might have looked at that Shaq move and been like, this guy's an idiot, but I think it'll work out. We're also going to go ahead and sign Earl Jenkins to the squad on a 3-year deal. This is what the team's looking like. Now, I do want to move around some positions before the season starts, and this is what it looked like after I changed some things around, and we're pretty much ready to go. Also, I want to promote my new channel. It's called Danny Talks. It's going to be linked in the description. I'm going to talk about different content creators and things like that. So if it sounds interesting to you, click that link, go subscribe. Anyways, at the end of the season, Kobe was named the MVP of the league. Dwayne Wade was Rookie of the Year. Not too surprising considering we have a lot of talent on our team. Couldn't get guys like Bron and Melo as many touches. We won 73 games this year, so a really good season for us for sure. Elton Brand was All-NBA second team. I didn't exactly expect that. And Kobe was All-Defensive team. Also, of course, All-NBA first team. He was the MVP of the league. All right, we're going into the playoffs as the number 1 seed. We've still got work to do, though, if we want to build out an undefeated season. But I think this should be a championship year for us for sure, and we go ahead and win the chip. Kobe Bryant named the finals MVP. Now it's time for another big offseason. We're going to start it off with the draft lottery where we land the number 2 pick. That was that pick that I got when I traded away Vin Baker, and that was a part of the Shaq trade. I got Vin Baker in the Shaq trade. So see, the Shaq trade's kind of working out now. But we have an expansion draft to worry about before the NBA draft, and we have to release at least 1 player. I don't want to lose Earl Jenkins, So I'm going to trade him away for a second, go get Brent Barry and Tyrone Hill. I released Tyrone Hill in the expansion draft, and then I went back and I traded to get Earl Jenkins back on the squad. I know, million IQ move, so that was pretty much done. We did that move. I also traded up from 2 to the number 1 pick, drafted Dwight Howard. The offseason is going swimmingly so far, I would say. Then I re-signed Andre Karolinko on a 5-year contract. That's another move I was pretty happy about. Then I went ahead and signed some G League big men onto longer term deals. These can be team-friendly contracts, guys that we can play in our rotation, maybe use in a trade. I also signed Charlie Ward on a 1-year contract. Might use him in a future trade as well. But with all of that done, this is what the squad's looking like. I have to say, things are going beautifully, man. We look great. This might be one of my best 82-0 attempts so far. Unfortunately, we're not there yet. We lost to the Celtics, and I think they still have Shaq. So maybe that Shaq move's coming back to bite me. At the end of the season, Tracy McGrady is named the MVP of the league. J.J. Mullen, Rookie of the Year. Chris Bosh, 6 man. Bro, Shaq's really good. I should have kept him around, man. Could you imagine if we would have had Shaq, Melo, Bron? Oh my gosh, I folded. We won 77 games on the year, though. Another really good season, and we're going to go ahead and sweep our way through the playoffs. Melo, at only 20 years old, named the Finals MVP. This year, we weren't able to land any crazy draft picks, but this is the Chris Paul draft. I could use a backup point guard, so if I can make something happen, I'm going to try to. So I'm going to start off by trying to trade for number 2. I was able to land the 2nd pick, but I kind of just ran out of draft capital to use to move up to number 1. So I decided to trade number 2, and I saw Amari Stoudemire. This is a young Amari as well. This felt like a no-brainer. So I went ahead, I traded for Amari Stoudemire. Then in free agency, I signed Melvin Cassell to a 4-year contract, another team-friendly type deal, a guy who can maybe play a few minutes for us. I also signed some other like G League big men to contracts. I'm basically just going to trade them to get more draft picks. I'm running low on draft capital, so as you can see, I ended up signing a bunch of guys who I will end up trading to replenish some of those picks that I've used in moves. But overall, the squad is looking incredible, man. I have to say, I feel like I'm cooking right now. We're getting closer and closer to trying to pull off this 82-0. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be the year. We ended up losing 2 games in a row after being 29-0 on the season. Ultimately, it was kind of a disappointing end, though. We only won 72 games, which I know it's really good or whatever, but we're trying to win 82, so that's not exactly what we're looking for. Also, Shaq, I don't know why I thought he was just going to fall off in the sim. I made a huge mistake, man. I should have kept Shaq around, but unfortunately I didn't. Now, that probably would have affected our cap space and everything else, but anyway, man, I probably should have kept him around. We're going to go ahead and again sweep our way through the playoffs. Kobe Bryant, Finals MVP. We won another championship. Now, we do have quite a few picks in this year's draft. Unfortunately, none of them are good. And this draft, I just have no interest in picking any of the players, so I just traded all of those away. Then I went ahead and in free agency signed Brevin Knight and Eric Dampier. Or no, I tried to sign Brevin Knight, but he didn't end up signing to the squad. Anyway, this is what the team's looking like. We still look really good. I wish Dwight Howard would progress a little bit faster, but everything else is going pretty well. And around the middle of the season, we again weren't undefeated. We had lost like 2 games, and a lot of guys wanted to test free agency, and I couldn't allow that to happen, man. So we got to go ahead and trade some of these players away if they're not going to re-sign with the squad, because I don't want to get cooked and have them leave the team. So we're going to trade Gilbert Arenas for Tony Parker. Tony Parker's on a longer term deal. That's really the only reason I'm doing it. Then I'm going to trade Elton Brand for Chris Bosh and Jason Williams. The reason I'm doing this is because Chris Bosh is a restricted free agent, which means I can match his offers that he gets in free agency. I got Kendrick Perkins in one of those trades. I'm going to go ahead and trade him to get a first-round pick. All right, now that all that's done with, we're at the end of the season. Dwayne Wade is named the MVP of the league, over 30 points per game. Really good season for D. Wade, the Flash, Andrea Bargnani, Rookie of the Year, and Melo, 6th Man of the Year. That's just how deep our squad is. We have Melo coming off the bench. We won 77 games on the season. We're making progress, but we have yet to even crack the 80-win mark, and I've done that in previous videos. So considering this is my final attempt, I'd like to go 82-0, you know what I mean? But we go ahead and win another NBA championship. Now I'm trying to trade up for number 1. This is the Kevin Durant draft. and I'm going to trade Karolinko because he plays the same position as KD, and I'm also trying to save some money, avoid that hard cap so that we don't lose out on any players in free agency. Boom, I draft KD. I also save some money by trading Karolinko. We picked up Dwight Howard's team option, of course, but we've got a lot of players entering restricted free agency. I'm just hoping we don't exceed the hard cap, because if we do, we could get absolutely cooked. And unfortunately, a lot of these guys were getting contract offers early on, and that led to us losing out on Amar'e Stoudemire. That's right, we lost Amar'e, man. We might be cooked. It might be over, bro. Like, it was going so well, but we lost Amar'e. That's just a huge loss. But don't worry, we'll trade for Gerald Wallace to save the day. Yeah, man, it might be over, bro. It might be over. Like, we're losing on game number 5 of the season. I'll see if I can do something to improve upon this. Of course, LeBron wins MVP, whatever, you know, we go ahead, we win a lot of basketball games. It's not like we just suck all of a sudden because we lost Amar'e. We won 75, so we're still on the brink of making this happen, but we've got to do something crazy this offseason if we want to pull it off. Of course, we're going to go ahead and make our way to the finals, win another championship. Whoop-de-doop. We won a championship. And we're going to go ahead and try and re-sign Dwight Howard this offseason. But more importantly, Kobe Bryant is a free agent. And if Kobe leaves, I might as well just end the video. So I'm going to offer him the max. It looks like he wants to come back. We're good to go, right? But Dwight Howard, he got an offer that I needed to match. And the CPU was like, yeah, you don't have enough money. We'll let go of Kobe instead of Dwight Howard. So I traded some players to clear up the room to bring back Kobe. Like, bro, just let go of Dwight. Why would we let go of Kobe Bryant instead of Dwight Howard? I don't understand, but ultimately it all worked out. I cleared up the room. Boom, bam, bop. Kobe Bryant is still a Laker. All right, but Dwight Howard, just for you almost making us lose Kobe Bryant and the fact that you're flopping in terms of progression, we're going to trade you for Andre Karolinko and who, Jr.? Not my proudest moment, but yeah, welcome to the squad, Karl Malone Jr. Let's go ahead, and we lost the first 2 games, bro. I don't understand. I don't understand, man. This is getting ridiculous. Oh my goodness. I feel like DeMarcus Cousins in that one interview. This is getting ridiculous. We won 75 games. Yeah. Let's go ahead and, you know, cakewalk to another championship. We swept the first 2 rounds. Okay, it was actually really close, but yeah, we go ahead and win the championship. This is the Steph Curry draft. Maybe we can turn things around if we get Steph Curry, the 3-point champion, whatever, bob, boom, bam, bop. Let's go ahead and try and trade for that #1 overall pick. I'm going to start it off by trying to trade for like #2 and then move my way up. And I did get #2, so now we just got 1 more pick to move up, but I couldn't make it happen. I had to settle for #2. Ended up drafting James Harden, fear the beard. All right, now it's time for free agency. We got Tony Parker and Andre Karolinko, and guess what? I can't afford to bring either one of them back to my basketball team. We're cooked. I'm running all my best players 48 minutes per game. Good luck. Drink some Gatorade or something. Hopefully, we can make this happen. We're 27-0, and unfortunately, the Blazers hand us an L. 82-0. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. 82-0 just destroyed me. Hope y'all enjoyed. Have a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe.